Hello and welcome to The Positive Choices. Sasha here. I am so glad you have joined me today. Where is here? Here at The Positive Choices is where we figure out how to deal with all the crazy chaos that life tosses our way. And some days life tosses us so much chaos that we are overwhelmed. Here is where we figure out the best way to deal with it. The tips, the tricks, the hacks, the ideas, the ways that make it better for us as we try to navigate this thing called life. Because really, what I think we all want, I know what I want, I think what we all want is to live our very best life. And sometimes that means getting a little help to figure out how to get through all those crazy paths and journeys and roads and detours and construction zones that life brings us. So, welcome to this week's The Positive Choices Show. I am glad you're here. Let's get right into it, okay? Okay. Let's talk about success today. Success is one of those things that you just can't touch always. And people are saying, oh yes you can, I can touch my money, and to me that's what success is. And that's fine if that's what success is to you. But what I want to talk about is success and how it looks in all areas of your life. Often we think of success as success in business. You have a successful career because you have lots of money, or you have attained a certain position in the company, or you have a large house, or you have 8 cars, or whatever. Whatever our image of success is, it's almost always tied to a job, an identity of a career. That's what success says to most people. And that's great. But what I want to talk about today is success in other areas of your life. It doesn't matter if it's success in your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your friends, your business, your life itself, and how you do things in your life. Success is something that I think should always be a goal. And here's the hard part about that. Success is not defined by me or even by anyone else. You think of all the gurus out there that tell you how to be successful. What happens is success is defined only by you for you. If success to you means having a rented apartment over a really cool park in a city, that may not be what success is to me or to anybody else. So you see what I mean when I say success can only be defined by you for you. So I won't even pretend to try to tell you how to define success, because that would be crazy. Mine's not going to look like yours, and yours isn't going to look like anybody else's. Okay, maybe you like your partner or your spouse or something, but even then, I think there's some differences. What I think we can do, and what I think is the way to get to whatever that definition of success is to begin by defining it. How can you go for something if you don't know what it is? It's like, how can I jump down this path and head on that journey if I have no idea where I'm going? Now, sometimes we do that and we jump on the path and head down the journey and we're clueless about where we're going. But if you're looking for success in whatever your category is, business, career, life, relationships, whatever, first you have to know what it looks like to you. And that's kind of hard, right? The first thing I'm going to ask you to do today, tomorrow, this week, is define what that success looks like to you. I would even put several categories: business or career, whichever one you want to call it. Is it your own business, or is it a career with another business? And then I would put success in my relationships. whether they're friendships, whether they're your significant other, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your parents or your children, all those relationships, all the circle of people that are in our world that make a huge impact on us. What does success look like for relationships? And then finally, what does success look like for you personally? You're like, well, I already talked about business and I talked about friends and family. Okay. What does success look like in your eyes for you? Maybe it's working until you're 85 because you love what you do so much. Maybe it's retiring at 40 because all you want to do is go fishing every day. That's fine. Whatever. The very first step that you must do is define it for yourself. Business, relationships, personal. You have to get out of your brain and onto, I say, a piece of paper. You could use like a Google spreadsheet or something. I'm a pen and paper girl. I like to write it down. And once you write it down, you then can formulate a plan. Okay, I want to be a CPA. Oh, okay. So have you done the training to get you there? I want to open my own business. Okay, what's your business? I want to have a promotion to the next level. Okay, have you trained and do you know and do you have your resume up to date? Once you put the definition down of what success means to you, I won't say the rest is easy because life typically isn't easy ever, but at least you'll know the steps to take. What I find most often is when it's not written down, when it's not some sort of plan, some sort of concrete idea, we just flounder out there trying to figure out what to do next. And the reason we can't figure out what to do next is all the lines that we're supposed to follow are doing this. It's all this, it's spaghetti lines. It's like squiggly lines. It's like the balloon strings all tied up together. You don't know what to do because you don't know which direction to go in. So the very first thing you must do, write it down. And then we talk about, that's your business one, okay? Then we talk about the relationship one. I think what you need to do with that one is put the people's names down. What does success look like for you with your significant other? Is it less fighting? Is it more fighting? Is it less chores? Is it whatever? It's going to be different for you. And what does success look like in a relationship with your parents or your children? You want to raise your children to be productive members of society. It's called PMOS in my house. Maybe with your parents, you want to make sure that they are taking care of themselves so that when you have to step in and help with that care, it's a more seamless transition. What about your friends? What does success look like for relationships with your friends? Well, is there a connection there? Are you always the one calling? Are they always the one calling? Do you meet once a year and that's fine and you pick up right where you leave off? Whatever it is, it's going to be different for you. Put that down. And then you get to the personal. What does success look like for you personally? Oh, success for me is going to be a glorious ride through the country every single day because that's one of my things that I love. And how can I do that? I can work for myself, and that allows me to take that drive much more frequently than if I actually worked for someone else or was someone else's employee. So that's what success looks like to me. Does it tie back into this career? It does, and that sometimes happens. And then after those things are written down, you can then start to work on what they would look like when you begin to implement that success strategy. Now, I bet you're thinking, I'm not going to put my friends and my family in some spreadsheet and make them some strategy. That's just cold. No, you know what that is? That's a fact of our lives. We are all overwhelmed with so much stuff to do, to think about, to have to figure out, to learn. Things like this get swept under the rug. And if it's something that we are intentional about, however we are intentional about it, it is a benefit when we are intentionally focusing on how to make something successful. Success doesn't have to be just about business. I want to be successful in all areas of my life, and I want you to be successful in all areas of your life too. There have been many, many, many times when one of those three columns was way out of whack, and I knew that I had to get them all back in alignment to be successful in living my best life. I want to live my best life, and I want you to live your best life too, and I bet you want to live your best life as well. So a little bit of, let's look at it on paper, might help the chaos that are in some relationships. Let me talk about that 1 second. Okay, a minute or two. We all have relationships in our circle of people that influence us that are better than others and that are worse than others. Often they can be toxic, but they're still there because it's part of our circle. And yes, we can absolutely cut them off, but sometimes we don't for various reasons. There's too many to list right here. So when you have to deal with those people, even though you don't want to, having it written down, having some idea of what you're dealing with can only help. I assure you of that. I have toxic relationships in my life that I have to deal with. And knowing on the piece of paper for me, maybe it's the Google spreadsheet or whatever for you, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of that relationship help me remember something when I'm dealing with them. It helps me remember that that's the way they are. It is not anything that I can control, but I can control how I react to what they're doing. And by having it there in plain view for me to say, oh, that's how they are, I won't let them get under my skin. So, for your challenge this week, grab a piece of paper, a napkin, a paper bag, your kids' schoolwork, the back of a menu. Do y'all write on all kinds of things? I do. And write down those three columns: business, relationships, and personal. And list what success looks like for you. I'd love to hear your comments. Please come back and tell me what it looks like for you in any of those areas. I love the conversation that we have in the comments, so please do that. Please let me know. And I look forward to hearing how success is defined by you, for you. It is a simply beautiful thing. This is Sasha signing out for another The Positive Choices show. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you right back here next week. Be sure and hit that subscribe button so you'll know when the next The Positive Choices show comes out on YouTube. Talk to you very soon. Bye.